Hi, I'm Wanyo. Today I'm gonna talk about South Korea sports governance. Here is the content today. So first I'm going to address the South Korea history and the sports history. I will looking at what happened in the South Korea, and then I'm going to look at current social and political economic institution and the social trend in South Korea. And then I'm going to look at the government role in sports, especially elite level, amateur level, and the sports industry regulation. And and I will look at the sports governance landscape. And finally, I will make conclusion in my study. Korean history is so broad and long, so I'm going to briefly explain what happened, and I focus on the important incident in the South Korea history. First, in terms of demography, the South Korea is located at East Asia, and population is about 50 million people. The capital city is Seoul. So interestingly, the Korean is a homogeneous ethnic group, so we have one race. Uh, the most important, the history incident in South Korea is we used to be colonized by Japan for 30 years. After the America attacked Japan by nuclear weapon, we were able to be independent from Japanese government. However, 5 years later, the Korean War occurred. So we we were divided into two parts, north and south. In terms of sports history, sports in Korea has been dramatically developed in Japan colonial period because sports is the only way to express their identity from the Japanese. So Sun Gi-jung won the gold medal in marathon at the 1936 Berlin Olympic as a member of Japanese delegation. This history is very sad because even though Sung Gi-jung was Korean, he cannot hang the Korean flag in the Olympic. Uh, During the colonial period, YMCA and Joseon Physical Education Association plays an important role in promoting people to participate in the sports. Uh, Joseon Physical Education Association's ideology was to form internal unity of Korea and have anti-Japan spirit. So this institution was very important. Uh, in terms of LT sports, President Park Chung-hee declared sports nationalism policy and made long-term plan for LT sports in 1996. So the policy reformed the role of the physical education in school, including increasing time of physical activity, strength physical education in school. So in order to raise the LT sports players, a Taeryung National Training Center in Seoul was built, and South Korea host the 1986 Asian Game and 1988 Summer Olympic Game for the first time. It was starting point to develop South Korea sports. The government started investing a lot of money into sports. So South Korea went to quarterfinal in 2002 South Korea and Japan FIFA World Cup. As a political trend in South Korea, South Korea has a presidential system and operate under the constitution. The government of South Korea is centralized democratic republic. So actually we are democratic country. Also South Korea have separation of legal, administrative, and judicial power. So Korean administrative department has a prime minister who plays a role in the assisting president. This case is unusual because we have a president and a prime minister. So in terms of religion, the constitution in South Korea ensured that all Korean people have freedom of religion. So this is statistics the, um, from the Korean Statistical Information Service. So people have no religion is 56%, and Poster-Tennism is 19%, Buddhism is 15%, Catholicism is 7%. The three religion is representative. The religion in South Korea. Economic trend in South Korea. South Korea economic system is pretty similar to the Americans one. South Korea has mixed economic system which is dominated by a large family-owned conglomerate business. The economic system also combines centralized economic planning with the government regulation. So these enable business entities to have economic freedom in the use of capital and government to intervene in economic activities in order to attain social goal. So government can interfere with the economy. So after Korean War, South Korea economy has been rapidly developed. So Korean GDP currently is $1,600 trillion dollars, and GDP per capita was average is $31,000 in 2018. So social trend in South Korea, the most important social issue in South Korea is about youth unemployment rate. So the young people who graduate from college don't have the job. So it is very hard to get a job. So many young people struggle to get a job in South Korea. The reason for higher unemployment is due to uh, the economic depression, and there is a limited job resources, and there's many people who want to go to the same company like a large company, Samsung and Hyundai. And then the also most important social issues about North Korea relationship. North Korea threatened South Korea by nuclear weapon. This threatening make South Korea economy is decrease. As elite sports has been increasingly important, South Korea government viewed elite sports as a way of promote national prestige and pride and boost national identity. So South Korea government tried to host the international mega sport event to develop the South Korea economy so government can success in bid for 1986 Asian Game and 1988 Olympic Games for the first time. These sports mega events stimulate development of elite sports in South Korea. In terms of sports for all, government involves diverse aspects of sport regarding regulation, adoption of law, and investment of sports facility. In fact, government made some regulation for increase in time of physical education class in the school. So many students can experience a sports activity in school. The government organized a variety of sports programs such as sports equipment support program and sports camp. To be specific, this program helps distribute 20,000 items of sports equipment to the 10,000 local child centers, elderly facilities, and social welfare facilities. The purpose of this program is to promote public health, and make as much people as possible participate in the sports. The government provides sports instructor certificate course in order for people to learn the sports from professional instructors. In Korea, they have some industry regulation. For example, sports industry regulation in South Korea consists of three parts: sports facility and product and service regulations. Sports facility regulation is associated with building sports facility and managing the facility. Second, sports product regulations involves regulation regarding manufacturing the product and distribution of sports product to the market. Sports service regulation is associated with spectating sports in professional sports league, sports events, sports marketing, and media. The focus of sports in South Korea is heavily on Olympic Games and the FIFA World Cup. This is because the international mega sports event helps increase the national image and prestige. So there are two biggest sports organizations in South Korea. First one is Korean Sports Olympic Committee. KSOC addresses professional sports organization related to the Olympic Games sports. Second, Korean Football Association is a football institution which exercise authority to make rules, select national coaches, govern soccer amateur and professional league. As a prominent individuals, KFA's president is Jung Mong-gyu, who is a business leader in Hyundai Group. So he has a power to make a sponsorship contract with the Hyundai. So generally, Hyundai family inherits president of KFA. Prior to Jung Mong-gyu, some other business leader in Hyundai Group was president. As a key issue and controversy, KFA has some issue involved with bribe and corruption. This is because KFA has exclusive right to make a contract of sponsorship and the media right. So the bribe and the corruption is common in South Korea's football. Also, Jung's Hyundai family is taking the position of president for up to 20 years, which caused the unfairness. So in Korean Sports Olympic Committee legally intervene in selecting Olympic athletes. So sometimes we can see the news, this organization forced the coaches to select some certain athlete. As conclusion, government pays little attention to athletic sports in school level. They just focus on national level because of Olympic Games and FIFA World Cup. Sports governance needs to develop collegiate sports in South Korea. This is very important because amateur sports based on the success of development in sports. Compared to American collegiate sports, Korean collegiate sports is very unpopular. And third, in terms of sports for all, many sport facilities are empty because of competition from on other things such as playing games or watching a movie. Sports governors should have a feasible plan to bring many people to sports facility.